A different road. The Magi took a different road home, so as to not have to tell King Herod where they had found the child. They took a different road home so they didn't have to go anywhere near Herod. Oh, that we could take a different road in 2020, in 2021, a road that would avoid COVID, a road that would take us to our favorite vacation spots that we long for, a road that would take us by the family that we want to see, a road that would bring back jobs to those who have lost them, a road that would bring us back to restaurants enjoying meals and company, a road that would lead us to hugging one another, sitting in the pews of this church. A different road is perhaps something we all long for. But that day, the Magi took a different road for a very different kind of reason. They took a different road for protection. They took a different road to avoid someone and a situation where nothing good was going to come. They took a different road. If we consider that kind of a different road, perhaps we are not quite so eager to take that different road. We might not be quite so eager to take a different road when it means being uncomfortable and calling people out on their racist comments, tones, or understandings. We're not quite so eager to take that different road when it means being uncomfortable, advocating for the least of these, over and above our own prosperity and comfort. We're not quite so eager to take that different road when it means making choices, even in our own lives, that bring changes that are hard for our health and wholeness. The different road is not always what it is cracked up to be. When we think about the Magi stopping by to visit Jesus, we tend to forget that it was a completely radical choice. We tend to forget that they brought wildly unconventional gifts, and they were not the quote-unquote appropriate visitors. We tend to forget about the fact that the nostalgic different road is not just the scenic route, as our Magi in our pageant a few weeks ago described it, but rather that different road was the road that allowed them to live. It was the road that allowed Jesus to live. It was the road that allowed them to avoid torture or being found out by King Herod. A different road. Now this year, we are all likely on a different road. A road that we haven't chosen. But we're on a different road nonetheless. What we can do is decide what to make of the different road. That's the choice we have. This year, you were given a star word. Perhaps you picked it up on Christmas Eve and you've stared at that envelope that says do not open until January 10th. Perhaps you got one in the mail. Or maybe you're ready to click on that link and see the spinner choose a word for you. Now, go ahead and open those envelopes, choose the spinner, get a word. Don't choose the spinner over and over until you get the word you like. You take the first word you got. And no trading with somebody else in your house if you don't like your star. Okay, everybody got their word. Perfect. Now, these are all great words. It might be immediately clear to you why the word is yours. You sometimes find yourself hating your word. You might be delighted, you might be excited, you might be worried or uncertain about your word. Regardless, I invite you to journey on this different road with this word, allowing the star to guide you. Now, I invite you also to consider where you're going to put your word. You can put it someplace you see it often. You might tape it by your desk. You might stick it by the toothpaste. You might stick it onto the coffee pot lid. Maybe you'll stick it to the door to the garage. Somehow stick it someplace where you can see it. So I encourage you to type in the chat, if you can do that. Type your word if you want to share it. And tell us where you're going to put it so we can imagine them all over. Go ahead, where are you sticking it? Now, wherever you stick it, and whatever your word is, may it serve as a reminder for the coming year that God calls you and God leads you on this different road. God is with you on this different road, just as God was with the Magi all those many years ago. So friends, remember today and every time you see your star, and always, that you are not alone. We all travel on a different road, but we are all journeying together, and our God is journeying with us. Thanks be to God. Amen.